We have a packed episode today. What does it mean to have a relationship with somebody that you love and care about while they are in spirit, meaning they've crossed over? We're going to talk about this and quite a few other things in today's episode. Welcome to the Your Energy First podcast, where we talk about all things your intuition, developing your spiritual gifts, and if you feel the call, to turn them into an incredibly creative business that the world needs. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm really excited about today's episode. We're going to be talking about energetic mediumship. I always have the intention and the desire to teach this information so that you feel empowered in understanding yourself and your journey better. So a close friend of mine had to put her dog down of 15 years. And if you've ever been in that position, you know what a strange feeling it is to have to make this choice to end this little furry being's life who you love so much. And we do the best we can with the information that we have. Yet as humans, it can really stress us out quite a bit. And I also have loved ones myself who have crossed over and are in spirit. And I'll touch on that as well. So my friend made the decision to support her dog in crossing over. She called somebody to her home to facilitate it. And I'm supporting her as a friend. I'm not doing energy work, one, because she didn't ask me, and two, because I wasn't called to. So the universe will call on you to do, I think, what I call pro bono work. They just will. And none of that was happening. So she puts him down on a Monday night. That following Tuesday morning, I'm at the gym. And her dog comes through while I'm mid-workout, okay? By the way, I love my gym. I love the people there. So we take these classes together, and this one gal is walking around the gym with just a regular mug of coffee. Imagine you just wake up in the morning, you pull a mug off of the shelf, not a travel mug, just a regular mug, and you just make some black coffee for yourself. She brought it to the gym with her, and she just station by station brought it around with her and was just taking sips from it. I was like, these are my people, like we don't care. We're just here to work out and enjoy ourselves and say hi and be social and move on. It was just great. Getting back to the mediumship part. So her dog's soul comes through. And when I talk about energetic mediumship, the first thing I want to state is that there are many different forms of mediumship. What I do myself and what I teach people in my group programs is how to facilitate energetic mediumship. Energetic mediumship means you as the practitioner are in your light. This means you are running energy for yourself with the divine. You are open to co-creating with source energy for the highest good of everyone involved. Not what you want, not what your client wants, but for the highest good. This part matters a lot, because a lot of what we see around mediumship is, what was their name? What are they wearing? We want a lot of that validation, and that is such a cool thing to be able to provide people. When you do energetic mediumship, you're focusing on the healing and the evolution of things for all parties. So it means that you as the facilitator are co-creating with source energy. You are not using your energy to do the work. You are calling in the divine to do the heavy lifting. Does this make sense? This is why people get drained when they do mediumship. You do not want to be drained. You want to follow the inner light framework, which I teach for free. And you want to make sure that your energy is supported. Then what you do is you're holding this energetic space. You're running energy for this. And your intention is that whatever is needed, that you, the practitioner, are supported because you're the one stabilizing and grounding this in. Number two, that the soul who has crossed over is being respected and respectful. I've had to kick out spirits because they were not in alignment. like, well, this is how they're showing up. And unfortunately, it doesn't work because they're being abusive or whatever. Okay. And then you also want to make sure that the information you share is in alignment for your client or the person that you're supporting. Now, when you hold energetic space, source or spirit, the activation of source energy, is already doing all of these things. Okay? So your job as a practitioner is to be the observer and the guide, and to help receive interpretations from spirit that help support the soul that's crossed over and the soul who's still living in the support that they need. So you are actually working with spirit, your guides, teams and teams and teams. We have so much support from the other side, immense. I mean, it's laughable for me to even say this. I couldn't do it on my own. It's laughable. It's so laughable. It's like team. I mean, I cannot stress this enough. It's like I get to be a part of a really cool team that helps facilitate this for people. That's all I can say. So when we think about this, there's going to be multiple messages coming through. There's messages coming through from the person who's in human form with you. And then there's actually going to be information coming forward from the soul that's crossed over in spirit. So when I'm in a session with a client, one of two things happen. Either one, spirit comes forward from the other side without the client intentionally asking. So it's a part that gets brought up in our session. Or two, the client is actually wanting to connect with the soul that's on the other side. So as a practitioner, my job is to then hold energetic space, not just for the client, but for the soul as well. Many times, I'm actually holding space for energetic healing to be facilitated for the soul who's crossed over. And sometimes the soul needs to be, desires the support to be crossed over. I had a client session one time where I let her know that by bringing up this soul, that they actually helped support the facilitation of the healing. And that means that this client was intuitively drawn to, first of all, my type of work. Every energy practitioner has a different type of work, which is really cool. We need the rainbow of different types of energy workers, right? Just like we need a rainbow of different teachers, we need a rainbow of different doctors. I mean, we need a rainbow of different restaurants. We need to normalize and almost systemize a little bit, but in a very simple, clean way. An energy practitioner is no different than you and I trying different workouts and then different people leading the workouts and seeing which one vibes with us, right? That's normal. That is human normalcy in the human condition. So when it comes to this particular client, what had happened is she'd gotten the nudge to come to me, and then the soul came forward, and the soul needed support crossing over. So I held space for spirit to do the heavy lifting to help support the soul crossing over. So this was, so even the client themselves, and this is what I was telling her, is she had a really significant role in this. We're all collaborating. We are in the age of human collaboration. We all need each other. So this part's really key. When you do energetic mediumship, it is not about what are they wearing, what are they saying. It's not about any of that. It is about what needs to be exchanged or understood or healed for the highest good for that soul and for the client. Very different, right? So getting back to, I'm at the gym. I've got the lady with the coffee. You've got me with one eye open, doing my thing. And my friend's dog comes through. When you facilitate energetic mediumship, spirit comes through in a variety of ways. So when I teach people how to understand their intuition, this is why listening to your body is so important, because you're going to physically feel the difference when spirit comes through in a variety of ways. And the accumulation of you paying attention to these things and noticing these things is what then gives you the trust, the confidence, and the understanding that you are going to be able to facilitate the conversation with spirit and help the client for a situation, the resolution that needs to happen. Talking about energy. This means paying attention to these things, it's like it gives you the vocabulary, it gives you the experience. So her dog comes through and I was like, oh, okay. And he was firm. He was just, I'm planted here. I got messages from my mom. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, so when I get back in my car, I go, we're going to send her a voice note and I'm going to hold space. And he just hung out the rest of my workout. Just hung out, just very planted. I never met her dog. So she's a somewhat newer friend. We kind of ran in the same circles, and in the last couple of years we became close, and I'd seen pictures, I heard a lot of him, I'd hear him in the background, but I had not met this dog personally. And one of the things that she told me afterwards when we were discussing the recording is how she goes, that is him. He was strong in will. He was firm in who he was as a dog. This is what I love about energetic mediumship is spirit gives you a vibe. Spirit gives you a vibe and says, this is actually, how I am, how I represent myself. Because when we're in human or pet form, we have, collars and ears and all these other things, right? But what are you energetically? So typically in energetic mediumship, what we actually talk about is the vibe that they're getting. And that's the part that connects and resonates with the person sitting. Actually, I should pull out my phone and show you what she said. So I send this to her, and there was a lot. When you're holding energetic space, you don't remember everything because it's not like you're having a conversation with the other person. You're holding energetic space for messages from their guides, right? And spirit. So let me go back to what she said afterwards. And this is the really important thing. With energetic mediumship, the intention is always healing and what is for the highest good of everyone involved. So when you're a medium in this way, your responsibility is to stay in integrity. And when you stay in integrity, it's not actually about what you, the facilitator, want. It's not about what the sitter wants. It's not even about what the other soul who's crossed over wants. It's about the collective experience and what is for the betterment of the collective experience. Okay, so I send this to her and she says, do, 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 do. Wow, we send a lot of texts to each other apparently. So I'm going back. Okay, so, wow, we really send a lot of texts. Okay, there we go. Found it. She said, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that meant to me. I'm shaking and bawling, but I feel such a sense of relief. I needed that so much. Thank you. I know you would never share that if it wasn't real and from him. Love you so much. You're such a beautiful blessing in my life. Okay, this is part of the reason I'm teaching this, because when we talked on the phone later, I said this is why I'm so passionate about teaching people this work, because we need more people, and plenty of people are capable. Well, first of all, everybody's capable of energetic mediumship. Everybody. And anything is a skill set you develop, that you're passionate about and that you develop. And we need just to be able to support each other and give each other a call and say, hey, I'm having a tough time, or hey, your dog came through while I was at the gym. We need more people in alignment supporting each other like that, which is why I'm coming here and sharing this. The other thing that she shared with me were some messages that really validated for her that she did the right thing at the right time, which is really challenging when your pet crosses over and you have to make that decision. I just think it's one of the hardest things in life. It just is, right? And I say that with a lot of compassion, that there's a lot of context in our lives, but in the modern world, it's a very big deal. And I will tell you one thing I know for certain is that animals are far more pragmatic about the crossover process. They are far more realistic. They they know the decision that you're in. So his message for her when he came through was very much about timing. He validated some other things for her that her and I hadn't discussed. He said you were picking up the signs even though he wasn't visibly on his deathbed. And this is something she talked about with the vet who came is, he's still going to be walking, but and they said, no worry, we deal with this all the time. We totally understand. So it can be very confusing. I'm just going to insert my human self for a second here. I've been with many people who have had to be in the position to cross over their pets. And it's better to not wait until there's a terrible time and it's the middle of the night and you have to go to the emergency vet and you can't hold them in your arms. With animals, weeks, days, months don't matter to them like it does to us. What they care about is their overall experience with you. I will also say, with pets especially, I have gotten to witness, I think that they are far more, the guys are using this term, leaders in our life, meaning leading an energy, meaning guiding you. They're here for such an important purpose, and their purpose is not to drag you down. At the end, I swear this is what Spirit's saying right now as I hold space for this, is not to drag you down at the end. And we hang on to them for so long for so many reasons, but they do not have the same mindset we do about death at all. They're like, we came here to do what we came to do, to support what we came to support, and they're fine crossing over. It doesn't matter if you feel like, oh gosh, should I have waited a few more days? Do not worry about that. A few more weeks, you cannot stress about those things. We want to take a look at their overall life in general. Okay, so when we chatted on the phone, she had some more questions for me. And I have full permission to share this, by the way. The other question she had is, she goes, okay, so both of my dogs died in my home. Does this mean that, and she goes, and I still chat with them. I said, great. And she goes, does this mean that when I move, their souls won't be with me? And I said, that's a fantastic question. So when our energy, when our soul leaves our physical body, it goes home to our higher self. Our higher self is the consciousness of our greater soul. But the aspect, the part of the soul that's become this personality still has a vibration amongst you, in your heart, in your aura, in your energy field. And energy doesn't actually have distance, space, or time. So the experience of the love and the depth that you've had with this other animal is, and humans for that matter, is always with you. It is always with you. It is in your heart. It is in your soul. It is something that cannot be taken away from you. I'm going to give you a counterexample, okay? A counterexample is I had a client, this was a couple of years ago, who wanted a house clearing. And so we did the house clearing, and then they moved. They actually moved quite a bit. And they came back to me and they go, well, the house wasn't cleared because I'm still experiencing XYZ. And I said, okay, so would it be the house or would it be something that's going on with you potentially? Because it seems to be everywhere you go, which I can't believe I'm giggling at that because I know it's a very serious thing, but those types of clearings are very serious in my opinion. But we want to take a look at the fact that that is very separate, right? So when a spirit is in your existence and in your consciousness, it is always going to be with you. And that part never fails. So for me personally, because I have loved ones in spirit, the way that I approach this with them and I actually treat it as I would a relationship here on earth, in that, yes, I have intentions about who I connect with. And also there's definitely a few individuals or an individual or two who I have clear boundaries with. And I'm like, I don't want to communicate with you at all. I don't care. I don't care about anything. I don't care if you're sorry. I don't care if you're on your healing journey. I just don't care. So that is the place I'm in. But then with my other relationships that I do have in spirit that I am developing, I'm showing up as myself with my intention, and then I am allowing them to show up in spirit with their intention, with our connection. So similar as when we're humans, it's a two-way street, right? same within spirit. And we want to be respectful of that two-way street. So when I'm holding energetic space for clients too, I am aware of what does the client need and what does the soul and spirit need, because it can be two different things. And then where is it coming together, if at all? Okay, there was one other piece. Okay, this is coming through, so I'm just going to share it. You absolutely can create boundaries with loved ones or just other people in spirit. That's not a problem. And there will come times potentially where you yourself soften, evolve, and grow, and you can maybe understand that they are or are not on a healing process. So it is fair to say I'm more at that point with this other individual who's in spirit, who was in my life. And at the same time, I just know that at least right now, and I would be surprised if ever, it doesn't really make sense for our relationship to reconcile. I wish them the best, and what will be, but I didn't have choice when they were here in the human experience, and so now I have choice, and this is a healing process for me, activating that choice. We're getting deep. That made me emotional. I'm also just going to take a moment and thank my guides in spirit for bringing that healing through just now, because I actually hadn't realized it and thought about it in that way. And this is the beauty of this work, and this is the beauty of holding space, is that we are constantly in motion, constantly learning and growing. And as a practitioner, and I say practitioner because you're always in practice with this work, I learn something new every day. I will continue to learn something new every day. And this is the part of this work that I love so much, is that it truly is a co-creation with source energy. And then we get to be delightfully surprised. Okay. Anything else? Okay. One other thing is, when a soul is in spirit, it can absolutely go through a healing process. It can choose not to go through a healing process. I have held space for souls who have crossed over at a variety of times in life in a variety of different ways. And by the way, when we cross over, we have a very, very, very different opinion, I would say, or perspective. Perspective's a better way of put it, of what our human crossover process was like. So when we're in spirit, we see the bigger picture. We understand, we're at home. We feel so good in so many ways. We know it's a lot of pain for people on earth, but so many times spirit is being so held in love by the divine, by God, by source energy, whatever you want to call that for you. They just do not carry the same powerful grief that we carry. Further to that point, even though I have loved ones in spirit, I still experience very human grief, especially for individuals who maybe had what I would say from my human ego had an untimely crossover. So, or like, I miss them, right? Timely or untimely, you'll miss them. So I still experience my human grief. I haven't I haven't been able to sidestep it. I wouldn't even try to, but I haven't been able to. And yet, at the same time, I have comfort that in spirit, we are developing this connection this way. And that's a life's journey in and of itself. Okay, I'm just checking in, seeing if there's anything else that they want to deliver. This time, maybe next time. You too can connect via your own inner light. Please follow the inner light framework. When we don't, and make it your own, the inner light framework is you being in your own power with energy work. It is a clear connection. It is how you are supported and guided, not drained. And it is how you are intentionally only connecting with the people that you're meant to for the highest good. Okay, one other quick thing, because I can't not share one more quick thing. And this, I'm just putting this out here, okay? There's really no rhyme or reason. This is just something I've observed. As I hold space for people who have transpired and are in spirit, I'm constantly in awe of what else exists beyond our human comprehension. What I mean by that is I cannot tell you how many times I've had the honor of holding space for someone who's crossed over. And on the other side, they're working on some freaking incredible project. Okay, that's such a human thing to say. I don't know what else to call it. I don't have access to this project. I don't know what it is. I know it might sound kind of contrite, but it's not. It's beautiful, it's glorious, it's incredible. So many souls are doing so many cool things in realms and experiences we can't even comprehend. So when we think about people dying, let's actually think about it as an evolution and as a process and as a journey, as opposed to, okay, they're simply no longer with us. If I cut my hair and dye it a different color, it's an evolution, right? And you can miss my hair. This is such a funny example. You can miss my hair, but it's still me. And who am I becoming when I give myself a strawberry colored mohawk? Okay, you get the idea. So we want to think about it as an evolution. And that, again, it's not that it completely takes away the grief, but I think it empowers us and it heals us, and it also helps us evolve and elevate and ascend. There's that word, the great ascension. Whew. Well, there we go. So I would really like to thank my friend and her dog for helping to be the inspiration for this. And I hope you enjoy being human and spiritual all at the same time. And if you want to work together, you can join me in the membership. You can join me in the group programs or work with me privately one-on-one. And Your Energy First across social media is where you can find the inner light work, all things energetic topics. And then emilymarie.energy is where I am helping other intuitives thoughtfully and mindfully bring their work and their businesses into this world in a way that feels really good, is in alignment, and supports their mission and purpose. Okay. The guides are like sweeping up the energy in this really cool way. And what this actually symbolizes too is it's like bringing light to shadows. You know how when we lift under the rug and we vacuum or we sweep, that's kind of what we've done today energetically. And I would love to hear from you how this episode has helped you, how it has maybe shifted a perspective, or has new insights come in for you that you would like to share. To your journey, it is an honor to walk this path alongside you.